Hello my friends and welcome to Flying Circus Models. Here is the second part of my current build, final assembly. I glued both fuselage sides together and attached the lower wing. And because it's a Roden model, I had to use quite a lot of super glue to close all the gaps. After the glue dried, I had to sand the model, and firstly I used quite aggressive sandpaper grit. It was 200, and then gradually I used 400 and 600. After that, the whole model was covered with the Mr. Surface primer. Also, I glued both sides of the upper wing, also sanded it and covered with the gray primer. The tail stabilizer will not be with the decals, and I decided to paint this first with the white strips, and then I masked them and painted black. Because kit cowl doesn't have any rivets, I decided to add them to make it a bit more realistic. Then the cowl was painted in black, as well as a tail stabilizer and both sides of the fuselage that will not have lozenge decals. The top side of undercarriage wing was painted in dark green, as well as the metal part of the fuselage. After that, the whole model was covered with the feature. After that, I applied face decals on the cowl. and started to apply Roden decals on the model. Surprisingly, the Roden decals in this kit are very nice, very thin, and didn't break. But anyway, I decided to use microsole and set solutions. Even though decals are very nice, we have to remove all air bubbles because we don't want to have them when decals will dry. To remove extra decals, I used a very sharp and brand new scalpel blade. Also, I applied the technical stencils and frat name of that plane. And with the top wing, I have quite a problem. So the size of the top wing is longer than the decals that we have in the kit. But because I will not use the decals on the tail surface and this will be painted, so I decided to use this decal on the top wing, and that was the easiest solution. But if you decide to use those decals on the tail surface, probably you will need to buy some aftermarket decals. All Fokker planes had a stitching on the bottom of the fuselage, but because it's a Roden kit, it doesn't have it. So to imitate this, I used the stitching part from Mench Fokker D.VI, and I used the self-adhesive foil and used the cotton stick to transfer the stitching from the plastic part into the foil, and then I applied this foil into my model. For each rib, I cut very narrow stripes and applied these decals on the top wing and bottom wing, as well as ailerons and elevator. The bottom metal part was covered also with the dark green color. For the machine gun cowls, I used the aftermarket Fokker D.VI cowls, and as usual I bent them using two different drill bits. In every machine gun I drilled the small hole just to make them more realistic. After that, I applied the photo etched part and glued everything together. Both machine guns, they were covered with the steel paint. Wheels were masked and I painted the rubber with the light gray color. I use this hint every time when I need to put the wire from one part of the fuselage to another. So you just need to put through the fuselage the small medical needle and put the wire through it. And it makes much easier to put the wire from one side to another. For the control wires and for the rigging, as usual, I use the small pieces from medical needle. And you can find the link to the video of how to make the rigging in the description. And again, because it's a Roden model, it was quite hard to install the top wing and shoot the video at the same time. So just a small hint, when you start to install the top wing, please use the central struts, and then you will need to attach the struts on each side. Then I drilled the holes for the control wires for the ailerons, and put the wires from wing to those holes in the fuselage. Because this plane had the rotary engine, and this type of engines well known for spilling oils everywhere, the bottom part of the fuselage was quite dirty, so I used the brown wash to imitate oil spills. So in the fuselage I drilled small holes and attached the turnbuckles, and they will imitate undercarriage rigging. And again, some oil spills on the undercarriage wing. Because this particular plane was used in the summer 1918, you can imagine how dirty the airfield was, so I applied dry pigments. The engine is ready, and you can find the link on the video how to make the rotary engine in the description. Also, I painted the wood propeller, and again you can find the link of how to in the descriptions. And finally, the model is completed. As usual, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press that like button, leave your comments below. Also, if you would like to support my channel, you can do it on Patreon. Also, you can find the link in the descriptions. Thanks for watching and see you in the next builds.